MCQ is a 1974 action film starring John Wayne as a police detective who bucks the system to solve a friend's murder. The movie takes you on a ride through the streets of Seattle, where MCQ uncovers a web of corruption. As we dive into the story, expect to find a mix of funny moments, shocking twists, and touching scenes. Now, I'd like to ask you two questions. One, do you have a memory you hold dear that's connected to MCQ? Two, which character from the movie did you enjoy the most? We're eager to hear about your favorite moments or personal connections to MCQ. Share your stories and memories in the comments below. Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of this film's history. Let's keep the conversation going. The 1974 movie MCQ, starring John Wayne, was a significant film during its release. It was one of the first movies to show a police officer in a more realistic light, moving away from the clean-cut image of earlier portrayals. The film was well received for its action scenes and Wayne's performance. It influenced popular culture by introducing a tougher, more independent kind of cop character that would appear in later films and TV shows. Following MCQ, there were no direct spin-offs or merchandise produced. However, the style and tone of the movie had a lasting effect on the genre. It helped pave the way for future action movies and shows that featured more complex and flawed heroes. The character of MCQ, with his gritty determination, became a model for other characters in the action genre. While MCQ itself did not have adaptations, it contributed to a shift in how action heroes were portrayed in media. In the early 1970s, John Wayne, a stalwart of westerns, sought a change in his cinematic roles, leading him to the genre of action movies, specifically the tough cop thrillers that were gaining popularity. Despite this shift, Wayne expressed dissatisfaction with the film's cliched story and rigid script. His career trajectory post-Oscar win for True Grit was a rocky one, with films like Chisholm and Rio Lobo failing to impress critics or audiences. Big Jake saw a return to form, doubling the earnings of its predecessors, but the Cowboys in subsequent films did not perform as expected. Wayne's portrayal as a detective in an attempt to mirror Clint Eastwood's success was met with criticism, highlighting his age and the predictability of the storylines. The film in question had only modest success, and its follow-up, Brannigan, fared even worse. Despite a poorly received sequel to True Grit, Wayne considered retirement before taking on his final role in The Shootist, which received critical acclaim but did not achieve financial success. The climactic car chase of the film was shot on the fog-prone beaches of the Olympic Peninsula in Washington state, adding to the production challenges. In a unique collaboration, a prominent actor known for westerns took on a detective role under the direction of a celebrated filmmaker. This marked a departure from their usual genre as they ventured into a crime narrative. The production involved notable scenes with vehicles that met dramatic ends, which were later transported back to the studio. Tragically, the film also became a part of the actors' final works, with one passing away shortly after the other, both leaving behind a legacy in cinema. Their contributions to the film industry culminated in this project, which stands out for its shift from their established Western backdrop to a modern crime setting. This film was one of the last few projects before the actor's passing and the director's retirement, making it a significant piece in their career timelines. In a notable scene, the lead character seeks a loan of 5,000, a sum that reflects a significant amount today, approximately 31,000. Critics at the time of release commented on the lead's appearance, suggesting he looked more suited for a long service celebration than active duty. Adding a personal touch to the film, the boat featured as the character's home was not a set piece, but actually owned by the actor himself, blending a bit of reality into the fictional world. John Wayne, initially declining the role in Dirty Harry, recognized similarities with his usual characters after watching the film, leading him to star in two police dramas, the first being this film, and the next Brannigan. Contrasting with the trend of single-named characters in the film, such as the titular detective Kosterman, Lois, and Pinky, Stan Boyle stands out as the only major character credited with both a first and last name. This film marked Wayne's first portrayal of a police officer, although he had previously taken on the role of a federal agent in Big Jim McClain. In a unique collaboration, John Sturges directed, and John Wayne starred in a film that marked their only joint venture. Set against the backdrop of Seattle's expansive cityscape, The production utilized the diverse locales of Washington state, capturing scenes amidst the urban setting and the rugged Pacific coast apocalypse. Prior to the movie's release, a novelization penned by Alexander Edwards hit the shelves, offering a slightly different take on the story. The book depicted the protagonist residing in an apartment and wielding a Mauser, unlike his on-screen counterpart's preference for a MAC-10. Despite these variations and some altered scenes, the novel remained largely faithful to the film's script and narrative arc. In a rare departure from his typical roles, John Wayne portrayed a modern-day police officer from Seattle in one of his final films. This marked a significant shift from his usual portrayals of lawmen in Western settings or historical figures. During the time of the film's preview, Wayne faced a severe health crisis, suffering from pneumonia which escalated due to his existing respiratory conditions. His health struggles were compounded by a heart valve injury caused by intense coughing, a condition that went undiagnosed for several years. The film's director, Don Siegel, expressed skepticism about Wayne's fit for the role, suggesting that his age was a limiting factor and comparing the film unfavorably to earlier similar movies. Despite these challenges, Wayne's performance in this role remains a notable part of his late career. In his early career, Julian Christopher was known as Jim Watkins, a nod to his initials JC, which he used for his character in the film. This inside joke was short-lived as he later returned to his birth name for his acting credits. The film's intense final chase and confrontation were shot on the Quinault Indian Reservation, a location choice complicated by the lead actor's previous controversial remarks about American Indians. Despite this, the production team secured the necessary permissions. Additionally, Kim Sanford's performance was entirely voiced over by another actress, removing her original dialogue from the film. In a nod to classic car chases, a scene features a character parking beside a jet black 1968 Dodge Charger, reminiscent of the one in Bullet. At the ages of 66 and 67 respectively, John Wayne and Eddie Albert brought their seasoned presence to the screen, despite concerns about their age relative to the roles they played. Their collaboration harks back to their performances as Army colonels in The Longest Day, a film about the D-Day invasion during World War II. Additionally, a pioneering emergency medical service vehicle, the Medic One, appears prominently in a hospital scene, representing one of the earliest paramedic units in the United States. In the film, the lead character drives a distinctive Brewster green 1973 Pontiac Trans Am SD 455, a vehicle noted for its rarity and power. This film also marked the first credited appearance in a feature film for actor Richard Kelton as the Radical. Prior to this, Kelton had roles in television episodes and TV movies. Tragically, he passed away in an accidental death at the age of 35, just a year before the passing of John Wayne. Additionally, the film features a scene where the lead character's boat is moored at North Lake Marina, situated on Lake Union near the Aurora Avenue Bridge, adding a touch of local Seattle scenery to the backdrop.